I will continue with yesterday's talk. Yesterday we were talking of the basic objects that we are dealing with in the sitting meditation. And as we deal with them, notice there are certain ways, certain aspects that we deal with in a certain way. For example, we talk about the priority of objects, which object to watch first. First one is the primary object versus the main object you use to deal, to develop mindfulness and concentration, and also the most suitable for it. Or there's something more critical, like the defilements, the hindrances. The hindrances arise, you don't take care of it, your mindfulness just doesn't come. So it defeats the purpose. After that is the question of dominance. What is strongest? Becomes most obvious. Suppose, for example, pain becomes very strong, and then you have to take it as the main object. Or sound, which is very strong, then you have to take it as the main object. Cannot be helped, it is dominant. And after that, the other things, which means things which are more frequent. So many of them, so you have to deal with them because they occur so often. You cannot ignore them. And finally, there are other things which are not so odds and ends, where there's nothing else to watch. Then you take them, even though they're not very clear and not very interesting, but you still use them because you have nothing else to use. For example, you're talking about the priority of objects, and then you have the primary object and the secondary object. Yeah? The primary object is the one that you use most of the time because it's most suitable to develop mindfulness and concentration and insight. Secondary objects are those that come and go, but still you have to use them because they can be dominant, and they can be critical objects, so you have to deal with them anyway. But since they come and go, they don't become the main object, primary object. Now the third thing involved is what to bring about is the question of directed and choiceless awareness. Directed awareness is you direct your mindfulness and concentration on that object or objects. And the choiceless awareness, you don't usually direct it to any particular object, but whatever object that comes. You have to be careful here because the word directed awareness, mindfulness, sometimes is used in another sense as appears in the text, suttas. But here I'm using it in terms of the ordinary use of the language in the English vocabulary. Yeah. For example, when you first start to meditate, you direct the mind to the rising, falling. Yeah. You direct your mind to the right step, left step, you direct it. The noting right step, left step, rising, falling is to help you to direct the mind to the object that you want. If you don't use the mental noting, then the mind may not listen to you. You will easily be go to another place. So one is directed awareness, which one, watch this, then watch that, and watch this, then watch that. You direct the mind accordingly. Undirected is you don't choose. You just be aware of whatever that comes. This is directed and directed awareness. So which one do you do? The directed awareness or the choiceless awareness? Depending on the situation. Beginning, you use the directed awareness. Because beginning, the mind needs a direction. You leave it to whatever comes, you note. No? Some people use that method. Then it goes all over the place. You don't have a clear line where to go. You say you want to just go. Where does the mind go? Where do you go? You go everywhere. Whereas you have a dog and you tell him to go this place, you take him on a leash, and then he follows you. He goes where you want it to go. So there's the nature of directed awareness. Whereas in the case of undirected awareness, that is, if the dog already knows the way from this place to your house, then it goes. Yeah? You doesn't have to be directed because it already knows the way. And it knows the way so well, it can take shortcuts, it can take other ways, but it still gets home. You know? That's the nature. So usually you begin with direct awareness. But when the mindfulness becomes trained, it knows what to do. You don't have to tell it to do what, watch what, follow what. It knows how to watch. And you don't have to make the effort to direct it. Yeah? It's the directed awareness. I remember once walking with a man. He's in Ireland. He has two dogs. The dogs are trained. He knows where the master wants to go. Because they take them walks on this side, that side. When he goes, the dog will go first. Like the scouts will go. And after that, he runs back to the master, see if the master is all right. Then he goes again, He checks on the master. This is what my teacher once told me. At first, you look after the mind. Afterwards, when the mind is trained, the mind will look after you. This is important because after a while, when the mind knows what to do, you don't have to control so much, what to do. But where it needs to be trained, where it needs to be told, then you step into action. Suppose you go to a place which it's not sure, it has not been there before. So you're not sure, you will go scouting, smelling, and you go here and there, you try an error and you will go. But if you are well informed, or at least the teacher knows, then you will give him the direction. Look, this is better, that is not so good. For example, unfamiliar objects. Then the teacher, no, that one don't watch, that one is a concept. He doesn't know it's a concept, so he still goes there because it looks like any object has been following. And so he goes, okay, watch that object. That object is a more Paramatta, is an ultimate reality. Go there. There's so many types and levels of Paramatta, and there's so many concepts. Sometimes you're not sure. The mind doesn't know. So in such a case, if somebody has to step in and tell, look, you're going the wrong direction. And so that's where the training continues. Direct and direct awareness. So after a while, you see that when you meditate, the concentration builds up. After a point, the mind also knows what to do, and that's the point where it can go further. If, for example, another good example is when you're watching rising, falling, and so on, thinking arises. Then you must not thinking mindfully, then you come back. Yeah. And first, the mind doesn't know thinking. You just follow the thinking. Mindfulness is not strong, so you get distracted. Uh, okay, it's not. Then say must not thinking. Then I say not thinking, but still there. Why? Because you don't notice mindfully. You must tell the mind to watch mindfully. Every time we watch mindfully, it goes away, and then the dog knows what to do. Uh, but usually in the beginning, you're not thinking. The thinking is you notice it only after some time. Uh, so it's a bit late. At the beginning, you think after half an hour, then you notice, oh, I'm thinking, Uh, as you train yourself more, after 5 minutes, you know, oh, I'm thinking. 5 minutes is a lot of thinking, by the way. And after that, while you well trained, the moment thinking arises, not thinking very fast, the 1-2 seconds. But still, it's too late, It becomes more effective when the mind automatically knows it's already installed, using the computer language, installed in it the app for nothing, for the virus. So it's so efficient that any virus can pop, beep, 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 it knows, no? Because it's already installed in the consciousness. It is too late if you expect the conscious awareness to work. It's a bit too late. It's so fast. So when the mind becomes like a habitual or well trained, even though so fast, immediately you catch, because it's already have that ability. Uh, so it is a special ability because most people don't know their thinking. And the moment they know it is too late. So all the black thoughts by that time will be very strong. But if you notice, learn to be mindful of it the very moment it arises, as soon as possible, then when the thing is installed in your consciousness, the automatic, when thinking comes, automatic, it's automatic. It's very effective uh, because it's been trained to do it. It's a bit like this. Your younger brother playing video, younger brother play video, the fingers move very fast. Yeah. Uh, I know a friend who was playing video. I was talking to a friend. The son was playing video, and he was listening to us. He supposed some video with kick fighting. No, I counted every 5 times or 4 times or 4 or 5 times. One time he looks at the video. 4 or 5 times, 4 times he listens to us. Yeah? Still his finger moves. And he can still play the game. See what the no, no. That's what habitual pattern comes in. Habitual pattern is important. But we build out the habitual pattern. Yeah? In this case, we don't consciously direct the object, but the mind automatically knows to direct the object, to direct to which object. Right? The choiceless awareness is different. The choiceless awareness is you sit and whatever comes, you be mindful. That means you don't chase after the object. When the object comes to you, you wait for the object to come to you. If, for example, you're playing, let's say, if, for example, a kung fu fighter, many people attacking you, so what do? Put your back against the wall. When they come, you just scream, you don't care, as fast as you can. Why? Because the only way you can attack yourself back and you cannot see, but when you can see, you just. So anybody who wants to attack you must come to you first. You stay far away, he can attack you. So anything that comes there, you bash, So something like that. So but in this case, is mindfulness, not killing. No one's killing mindfulness. So this is what we call choiceless awareness. You don't direct your mind at object. Yeah. This has certain advantages. Directed awareness is builds up energy. When you keep directing the mind to this, the mind is activated. It builds up energy. Choiceless awareness doesn't use so much energy. It sits back and let things happen. All you do is just to be mindful. It's just like a spider. The first is like a kingfisher. Kingfisher. So what do you call it in Chinese? The bird that catch the fish. Usually it's blue in color. Telling God pescatore.
金枪鱼
啊，
金枪鱼啊，不是哦，怎么不是？
对
台湾好像叫翡翠鸟
啊，
台湾好像叫翡翠鸟，因为是蓝色的。
蓝色的，多数是蓝色的，
叫翡翠鸟。
翡翠鸟。So his eyes is very sharp. The moment you see fish there, it's like boom, you can catch it. Direct awareness is like that. Whereas the choiceless awareness is like a spider. It sets up the net. Anything comes, boom, he catches it immediately. Choiceless awareness is like that. So both are employed in different situations. Usually when you have too much thinking, it's better to use the choiceless awareness. If there's not so much thinking, you can still catch. This is good also for catching specific thoughts. For example, certain thoughts are more sensitive. Because they stir more thinking faster. Certain thoughts are not so sensitive. So even they come and go, it won't disturb you so much. Suppose certain people are very sensitive to what? To mosquito. So meditate, the moment you cannot meditate, things like that, because they're extra sensitive to mosquito. So they're very sensitive. So in such a case, you have to learn to catch those thoughts, sensitive thoughts quickly, because they are very capable of destroying your concentration. Okay? Like this. Now, closely connected with this, in terms of the mode of being mindful, is what I call the digital and the cloud method. This is my own terminology, excuse me. I don't think you'll find a Pali word in the text of this method. Digital is, I would call the Mahasi method is very digital. Digital point by point, moment by moment. For example, you watch a rising, falling. Beginning of rising, falling, follow the end of rising, falling, stop. Beginning or end of the falling, and the end of the falling stops. We follow rising, falling. Now, later you're taught not just to follow, watch the different types of rising and falling, smooth, fast, slow, and so on. But when it becomes more digital, you look at moment to moment. You thought it was rising, 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 falling, falling, falling. So you squeeze the period to a smaller and smaller moment. The time concept is slowly overcome. Similar walking, right step, left step, right step, left step. After that, it's very general. So what you want to be more precise and refined to the moment. So you start breaking up because there are other purpose involved. Lifting, pushing, stepping. After that, 4 phases, 5 phases, 6 phases, maybe even more. And finally, it's lifting, 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 step, pushing, 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 stepping. How many points can there be? As many as your mind can perceive, until a point that you cannot cut anymore. Because you want to divide it further, it's too small. The concept cannot be rendered effective, the cutting concept. And so it goes moment to moment, and eventually reach to one point. The moment the phenomena arises and the moment it disappears. The noting and the knowing mind and the object arises and disappears together. So this is like what I call a digital method. It's a good way to bring your mind closer and closer to the moment. In such case, the noting usually increases until a point that you cannot, the noting becomes too slow. Then you stop the noting. You just follow moment to moment. That means you follow the object not as one whole thing, but as a process, finer and finer processes. The other thing is that in contrast, I call it the cloud method. Cloud method is a bit more broader. That means the digital method, the screen can be very narrow. Sometimes I call it narrow awareness. Narrow not in the sense of narrow-minded. This is very concentrated and confined. The cloud method is more open, and so it's a bigger screen, and as a result of bigger screen, it can fill it up with more objects. More objects. A good example is when you're doing walking meditation. Walking meditation is generally a more open awareness. Usually when you do walking meditation, you open your eyes. Otherwise you knock against the tree or fall into the drain. So it's a broader. This method is also useful for certain people who are too tense in trying to concentrate. In the earlier part of my teaching adventures in Europe, my first students were mountain climbers. Mountain climbers? Mountain climbers. Mountain climbers, those just walk on the mountain. So they call it mountain walkers, trekkers. Mountain climbers are those that have the rope and the spike, and one fall, you're dead. And those are mountain climbers. These people, when they want to climb that mountain, their mind is only on that mountain. And then they just have to do whatever they can just to get there, So this are the very goal-oriented people. So when I taught them meditation, I said, watch the rising falling. That was already too much. The whole mind was squeezed. Where's the rising falling? Everything tense up. See, this doesn't work. So I taught them the sitting touching. And that works better when you see it and the mind is not so tense and they feel the sensations, they're happy. At least they get happy and then they go slowly to the next step. Otherwise they force, where is my rising point? Well, that's what they do in life. So this is better in the sense it's not so highly goal oriented. When I taught this to a group of yogis in Canada, they said, Bhante, we are all cloud people. I prefer that because they're not so tense, no? As them to follow them, they become very tense. So this is general what you call more open awareness. But doesn't mean that there's no direction. There is some direction. For example, like walking meditation, you walk right step, left step, you're directed to the walking of the footsteps. Yeah. But when you direct walking footsteps, you still know and you hear sounds and you hear sounds, you open your eyes and you see things around you, but your mind is focused and centered on your footsteps. Even the footsteps, there are many objects involved. Each lifting the sensations, pushing the sensations, dropping the sensations. There are actually many objects. Let's say the three levels. First is central is the footstep, right step and the left step. There are many things there. The second circle is the body. When you're walking, the body sensations, ache here, ache there, although you're not focused on that, but you still know because your hands are moving, your legs are moving, and they are there. You cannot deny it. Lastly, is all the external outside things, the sound, the birds, and the cold, and all those things further out. The wind. So all external, those are further out of the main thing. So although you're concentrated on the right step, left step, if you're mindful continuously, all the others are also considered taking note of. I noticed this itself in Mahasi instructions. When somebody asks him about, suppose you're doing walking meditation and you're thinking and you're seeing, do you stop and note them? He said, not necessary. Because you're very mindful, continuous on the walking and right step, left step, walking, and if other objects tend to come into the view, they are also considered mindful, being mindful. That means you don't necessarily stop to say, see, I saw a bird, I saw a cat. No, then you become very distracting. Only when they really disturb you, then you have to make sure you are mindful. The walking meditation, somebody come in front of you, hello, then you must not sing, hearing. Otherwise, you lose your mindfulness. Oh, my good friend, I've been looking for you for so long. Oh, your mindfulness gone. So that is in case of the open crowd method. This openness in second phase, you find that is you see while you are watching the body sensations. When the body sensations, of course, at the beginning, you have this pain, that pain. Generally, is within the scope, the field of the body. Okay, so that's why sometimes people ask, when there's too many pain, which pain do I watch? Of course, you watch the strongest one. Yeah, go for the strong one, go for the big guy, the strongest one. But what happens if they are all about the same power? Instead of one, you have three ninja turtles after you. So which ninja turtle you look for? So look at all three of them. Suddenly one may become calm in front, and then you watch that, then it goes away, another one it comes back. Similarly with the body sensations. There are many body sensations. You try to look for the strongest part. If they're all around the same, then you have a general view of them. But the thing is, the body may be too wide a scope. So it helps to narrow down the scope, no? Rather than seeing the whole body, a little bit here, a little bit things there, you narrow it down, let's say, to just your hands. Usually they use the buttocks or the legs, pressing against legs, because usually that is dominant. Now, when it disappears, then you look, you scan the body again, the whole screen, and then you look again for the strongest one. No? This is the cloud. The difference is that in the digital method, the many parts is slowly reduced to one point. Yeah. The same with the cloud method. Cloud method, when you look at a whole mass of sensations, when concentration develops, the peripheral objects will go away. And you are more concentrated in the walking. Sometimes people cannot hear the sound at all. Sometimes they cannot see anything in front of them at all because they're so concentrated. Yeah? So it slowly eliminates the external one, and it also goes as if going into the cloud. It's like going into the cloud, and finally it focuses on one main one, at one point. So either the digital or the cloud method both end up in the same one point. The moment, the very moment itself. There's one advice learning from Sayadaw was that he did say that in the beginning of the practice, you need the directed method. And so, because that gives up concentration faster. But later, when the mindfulness is more automatic and more balanced, then the more choiceless awareness and the open method can be more stable. Only that in the open method, concentration takes longer time to develop. This is the, what you call, the general things we're going to talk about in terms of the body foundation of mindfulness. Any questions so far? All this you should know, huh? Because I've talked about it before.
Yeah, when you talk about, mindfulness, okay,
Yes.
when your mind is mindful, then you say, the mind will direct you to the objects.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, in this case, so the practice, the most difficult is the first part, build the mindful. After that, you don't do anything. Is that right?
Not really. Not really, because once you're mindful, you know how to drive, then you have to go to more difficult routes. Many other skills have to be learned. For example, Chittanupassana, Vedananupassana, the feeling foundation of mindfulness, the consciousness, the different objects. And when you go further, you need to learn the skills of watching the consciousness, and watching the feelings, and so on. All skills have to be acquired along the way. Beginning, yes. Beginning, at least, is able to give you basic concentration in Vipassana. So after that, it doesn't stop there. Point is not just concentration. Point is insight. Wisdom. Which brings us to the next part of the other part of the Kayanupassana. Most of these basic instructions is bring you to a level of Vipassana concentration, only a certain level. It is not really so insight yet. When you want to develop insight, the object becomes more specific. The object is, when it go further, is not actually the object that you're looking at. For example, when you start, you watch the rising, falling. So the actual reality that you're watching is not rising, falling. They are what we call the ultimate realities, the mind, body processes, the elements. So, but you start with that, and then you follow that, and then you go deeper, and then you finally you leave behind the rising, falling, and you go to just following the process of elements. This brings us to an interesting point in the practice. This is called mind door. I was mentioning to you the mind door. Strange enough, this mind door is not so well understood, even in people who practice a lot. I wonder why. I wonder why. One reason is probably because they're so used to the five senses. There's the eyes, there's the ears, that nose, they smell with the nose, you wear tongue, you touch with your hands, fingers. Yes, of course, yes. But the mind, how do you know? So they don't notice it so much. So that's why they call it the sixth sense. Actually, the main door is the mind door. Second is because I think you have to blame it on science. Because they tell us the brain is the mind. So the cerebral and all those things. So they think the mind is inside the brain, and the brain is the mind is the brain, and so it's all up here. Whereas in Buddhist metaphysics, the main station is one station. The main station is the heart base. But the mind door is not a heart itself. The mind door is a particular type of base consciousness which acts as a life continuum. It is responsible for the existence in one man. That is consciousness. So, but everything, the whole universe, can be perceived through the mind door. The eye can perceive only colors and lights. Ears can only perceive sounds. The nose or the tongue, taste, body, the tangibles. As I said yesterday, earth, fire, and wind. All the rest is specific to mind door. For example, consciousness, the mind is perceived only at the mind door. You cannot see your mind. I can see your mind there. I can see your mind on the wall. I know what it's thinking. You don't see, you just know. Sometimes I teach meditation, I don't look at the yogi, I just look at one side. I listen to what they say. Then they notice I'm looking at the side. And they look at the side. What is that? You see my mind there? No, I'm not seeing your mind, I'm just listening to you. Very amusing. And you find that even concepts arise in the mind. Concepts like a person, like words, they all occur in the mind. And so when you get inside knowledge, anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, suffering, non-self, and all that, they're all in the mind. So when your meditation goes deep, or your concentration goes deep, it goes to the mind door. You hang on to your body door and your sense door, difficult for you to go far, difficult for your concentration to deepen, difficult for your insight to rise, deeply progress. And so you have to be familiar to mind door. Generally, when you get more and more concentrated and you don't care what's happening outside, and you also lose the sense of your body, but you're still following the object, you're already at the mind door. Yeah. When you're watching rising, falling, you may feel in your stomach, put your hand there, and then there's the body door. But you go deeper, usually immediately it goes into the mind door. That's how deep. When you watch the rising, falling first, and some people say, watch the rising, go very far, go very back, so long, so on. The body is not like that. So you must be at the mind door. The mind door is like a place where the mind receives objects. The mind is a receptor. Anything comes and receives. But it can not just receive, it also respond. For example, you see quiet, and there appears in your mind somebody you don't like, then immediately the mind at first take a picture of this person you don't like appears. After that, then immediately know this idiot. I am doing better. I'm doing to somebody I like, not to somebody I don't like. And you get angry instead. So it also responds. So that's why you have active consciousness and passive consciousness. One receives and one reacts, responds. So try to be more aware of the mind door. So when you use the mind door more often, you go into meditation and concentration faster. And you get the more subtle objects. The gross objects occur the sense doors. The subtle objects occur the mind door. Yeah. For example, we say the sound tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The eyes, when you see, go finer, finer. How fine can you see? How subtle can you hear? There's a limit. But the mind can know much, much more further. Things you normally cannot hear, you can pick up. Things you normally cannot see, the mind can pick up. At the mind door. No other sense, at the mind door. Okay, that's one thing. So now we talk about the most important object, the Paramattha Dhamma, the ultimate reality. In Vipassana, we are always told to direct our minds, our mindfulness to the ultimate reality. And the ultimate reality, which is crosses that we deal when the body and the elements. I said the other day, the earth element, the fire element, and the wind element. Earth element, we said, is described as hard and soft. Hard is the strong earth element, soft is the weak wind element. They're basically the same thing, earth element. Similarly, fire element, hot is a strong fire element. Cold is the weak fire element. You're watching fire element. Medication to extreme. Wind element is tension, a very tense, strong wind element. And this weak is like very loose, or even powdery. No, not powdery, very loose. Opposite of tension. Connected with these three is the water element. Water element is only at the mind door. It's subtle. It serves to hold together matter. That is, when earth is very hold as a lump, it's because of the strong wind element. If wind element is weak, the lump will start breaking out like powder. There's nothing to hold it, so it becomes like powder. In between is like fluid, like water in between. So it is then it's more like the water element. But you don't perceive it in your body, perceive it in the mind door. So when I say earth, water, fire, explain to you this, you get an idea. What is important, you directly experience it without thinking, but with strong, clear mindfulness. This is where the first part is, after a while, you have to put aside the concept. In the beginning, the concepts are still there to some degree. So you keep directing it to the sensations or the elements. Sensations and elements, the qualities of elements are basically the same thing. But in the beginning, you watch it as sensations. But when it becomes strong, the nature of each element becomes obvious. For example, I take what you call the feather and tickle your head, no? You know something is rubbing there, something soft. It's not so clear. But it becomes clear, I take a pin and pull. Wow, take a hammer and hammer you, then very hard, and then it becomes strong. It becomes obvious. And basically, it's the same thing. But in more sensation, you're more aware of it as a process. So you, as you as you meditate and you're told to watch this primary object, usually the primary objects you use are very close to the actual qualities, but the qualities are present quite clearly. Yeah? And when you walk and step and watch your sensations, the objects are quite clear. This is soft, you watch and you know. Yeah? But at the time, you may still be aware of the concept of the legs. When I step, or this is my toe, this is my heels. You still have an idea of the form of the legs. No? Cannot be helped. You're used to this all the time. But when you do it more carefully, more in the Vipassana way, and you feel more aware of the sensations, the form of the leg slowly disappears. Yeah, automatically, either you're aware of the sensation or the form. But in the beginning, neither is strong. In fact, the form will be stronger. And so, it's always there to some degree. But when you know how to directly, properly, with just the sensations, finally, you feel the sensations of the leg of the moving leg, but you don't see the leg, you don't feel the toes or the fingers or the what. It's just the sensations flowing, arising and passing away. Okay? So you direct it to the actual experience of the sensation of the elements. You direct it away from the concept. At the beginning, you need a concept to help focus your mind. But when you can focus, you slowly do away with it. Certain things are also need to be done, concepts need to be done away. For example, words. When you're noting, using, naming, rising, falling, sitting, touching, right, left, these are words. Words are concepts, but they are very useful concepts for meditation. Without that, people find it difficult to concentrate, especially beginners. Even not beginners, when the mind is was thinking. So, but there comes a time where the thinking is like the noting is like a process, it's like a type of thinking. It's, the objects just arise and pass away very fast, one after another. And the thinking, what is this? What is that? It's too late. For example, thinking before you're not thinking, try to not thinking too late, Thinking has already started. So in the same way, the words are a helpful thing, but after a time, the words become a hindrance because the things arise and pass away so fast, you don't have time to make a name. Sometimes you don't know what to call it. For example, what shall I call this? It's already too late, it's already gone. So at the time we just drop the words. And then after that, you just pick up the sensation, the object. Third thing, concept needs to be put aside is a sense of I, me, mine. This is a stumbling block because it comes with what we call egocentrism. The I, me, Sometimes you don't use it, but the sense of the individual person is there. Who's meditating? I'm meditating. The idea of the person is in the mind. You identify with that. although you don't want to, although you may not realize you're having it, but still it's there, you know. That actually is a big block to vipassana. So some people, I tell them when they stare and they cannot get rid of it, they tell them, look, don't think that you're meditating. The mind is meditating. The mind is watching. The mind is doing this. Sometimes they have to sort of, don't think you're a head, because we usually identify ourselves on your face. Passport, face is there. This is Mei-Ling. Identification process, a big stumbling block. It should be very impersonal, very natural. Reality is nature, not a person. You learn to do away with it. And then there's just obviously the mind watching the object. And that's more difficult to put aside is time. There's a past, there's a present, there's a future. So the first step is just to tell you to give your mind to the present moment. Past is gone, the future is not yet. The here and now. This is actually from the suttas. When you put aside the past, big part of time concept is put aside. Big part of the future concept is only the present concept. Even the now is a concept, you know. Now, from past comes the present, then goes the future. From future comes the present, the past. So there's a now somewhere. I experience this now. True. But you don't think of the time. Do you experience the now? You don't experience the now. Because some people are very smart, philosophical. They say, now is always now. So the now is eternity. Very smart. But do you think these people are enlightened? No, they're very philosophical people. One is the now. The now is the presence. What is present? The object, phenomena that you're looking at. Yeah. For example, the concept of the past. Concept of the past is always the past. That which has not arisen is the past. Not that has arisen has gone, disappeared is the past. But what has disappeared is different, no. What has disappeared is not necessarily a concept. So what is present at the present moment are two different things. What you experience is not a present moment. It is the present occurrence. The reality that you can experience. Now, down that you don't have to talk about the time. Somebody hit your head with a hammer. That's it. No, you don't have to know who hit me with a mirror, when was it hit, why was I hit. You don't have you just know pong and then you know pain. Present phenomena is pain. I don't think now I'm painful. The pain is there whether it's now or not now. So you go with time. So the time concept is a bit more difficult, but if you just first step is to keep to the present and feel the sensation clear enough, time concept also. That's why you see some people, they meditate, wow, so long. Actually, you come up only 10 minutes. Some concentration very good, very deep. You sit a while, like short while, 5 minutes, but in 1 hour. Because the time concept is not there. Yeah. So, but doesn't mean the time concept is done, doesn't mean things don't arise and pass away. Things still arise and pass away. Doesn't mean you don't grow old or you still grow old. You still die. you still suffer. That's not the time concept. There's reality, conditioned reality. So when you meditate, you focus on the essential qualities of the elements. Then after that, you put away the concepts, and then when you see non-self reality at that level, your vipassana begins. Your kaya vipassana begins. So before that is bringing you to the door. But once you step into the door, when you get the first insight knowledge, then vipassana actually begins. Before that is preparatory, it's a preliminary. And you need to do that, otherwise you cannot get that. Of course, in the process of the practice satipatthana, you also the other objects will come in, like feelings and like consciousness, mental objects, dhammas, and they all come in. And they will have to deal accordingly with the satipatthana technique of watching them arising and passing away in a way of non-self, in a way that is not conceptual. Okay, today we stop after here. We stop. Any question?
Okay, when you say, your mind can hear, the ear cannot hear things, that means, that sound is not real, or since you cannot hear, but your mind can hear. Yeah, what does that mean?
The mind can receive all types of objects.
Yeah, but if that sound is not through ear.
Yeah. Let's say, for give you an example, first you hear the sound. The first step is the sound. Sound. Especially a gong. You hear the gong. You hear the word, the first sound of the word. Then when it goes into your mind. And the mind can pick the sound at the mind door. I can pick it at the mind door. The mind door can pick objects at the 3 time periods. Mind is very powerful. Mind door is very powerful.
Hear the sound, you don't get involved.
Yes.
You hear the sound.
The ear picks up the sound. The ear picks up the sound.
And you don't get involved.
You may get, once it goes into the mind, usually people get involved. But in the practice, when you hear the sound, you don't get involved. Yes. Don't get involved.
You notice.
You
can clear mind.
Yeah, correct.
You don't get involved.
Yeah. You're correct. You don't get involved in the sense you are not affected by it.
Yeah.
But you are still mindful of it. Yeah. You may get involved in it in a correct way. Understand the arising and passing away of the sound. But the first step is you don't get involved. First step, because sound is not your main primary object. It's only a secondary object.
I try to understand the sensation.
Yes.
I mean, sensations. Something.
Sensation is the object of the senses.
Yeah.
Like body sensations, for example.
It hurts.
Yes.
It hurt. Or the music come on, I feel sensation, I want to dance. The sensation. And what I forget earlier, what else?
This sensation is a funny word.
Like you rising and falling.
It's a sensation.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to usually when I talk this 1 or 2 days, I'm referring it to bodily sensation. Huh? I'm referring to bodily sensation. All sense objects can be called sensation. That's English language. But when I'm talking these few days about meditating on rising, falling, sitting, touching, I'm referring to bodily sensations.
Sensation is a happy thing.
No, feeling is a happy thing. Sensations are not necessarily happy things.
When you breathe in and breathe out, you're rising and falling.
Yeah, those are
And
sensations.
how you describe that sensation?
Yeah, for example, rising, falling is usually tension.
Yeah.
Stomach very tight, tension.
Mm.
The body breathing very easy, sensation is soft. Yeah. The heat is a sensation. You're very hot. There's a hot sensation, burning sensation. There's a hot sensation connected with the fire element.
So we practice breathe in and breathe out, rising and falling. With these all sensation.
Yes, correct.
We don't apply to in general, apply to our mind.
When you're able to follow this mindfully, first your mind won't be disturbed. Okay, so your mind is calm. You go outside, you're aware of all the sensations on you, and you're mindful because you won't be disturbed. Second, because you're mindful, you know exactly what is happening to you. So you know what to do. Right? Understand?
So study this, understand this, should make us a better person.
Of course, make you a better person, make you safer, makes you happier.
Yeah.
Because when you're mindful all the time and not disturbed, your mind will always be at peace. Mindfulness comes with peace. It can also come with joy. The moment we are not mindful, anger arises, craving arises, and then we get into trouble.
Yeah, so this all study this is mindful.
Yeah.
So stop us from getting involved in the wrong idea.
Correct. You got it.
That's good.
You got it. But because in daily life, especially or even in meditation, there's so many objects that impede us, distract us. Yeah. Difficult to be aware of all these things. But when we train enough, we can be more and more aware of it.
So this is all what we study.
This is the first part. Step one.
Okay.
Next time we go deeper inside your mind with concentration. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Bhante, can you explain how do we do walking meditation when it comes to undirected awareness or choices?
See, first, as I said, you need to direct your mind. You have to follow the right step, left step. Then you have to direct the mind to feel the sensations each step. And there's one point that's getting a bit borderline. For example, you what do you call it? You step on the ground, you direct the mind sensation of the feet stepping on the ground. But you don't choose what the object is. You don't choose. You don't say when I'm stepping my leg on the floor, it's going to be soft, it's going to be hard, it's going to be painful, it's going to be hot. You don't choose. And that is kind of non-directed. If you direct, you say, I want to feel the cold floor. I don't want to feel the hot floor. I want to feel the cold in the floor. And then you direct the mind to the cold, which may not be wrong, but preferably you don't choose the object. You watch it naturally as it arises. Yeah. And afterward, you keep increasing your mindfulness by increasing the 2 parts of the step, 3 parts, another 4 parts. And when the mindfulness is continuous and you can feel all the sensations, many sensations in detail, then you don't direct. Most you direct it is to the feet, but you don't direct at whatever objects. Whatever you feel, it's just the mindfulness flowing with the foot. And then whatever objects it picks up. So when it really becomes so strong, then you don't walk, you stand.
But you still direct it to the moving leg.
You still direct the moving leg, but when the concentration is strong, there's no leg. Only movement. But then in such cases, you should be very slow. And here to there, 50 minutes, half an hour. But in such cases also, the walking is also automatic. They're pre-programmed. Usually people don't go to the extent. They say those were done by people long ago. It's very long ago there were so many arahants. But sorry, bad joke. When you look at it, there is a sapaya, senasana, suitable place. Yeah, you can walk very slow. Because the conditions are so conducive. In those days, no, in those days we'll be walking in the forest. You know, forests are no big deal, no. A lot of bloodthirsty insects after you. As I was meditating, even the cow come and smell you. Even the pig come and smell you. After that, I go further deeper into the forest. What happens? And you find yourself sitting among snakes and pythons, cobras. Okay, come back, huh? And 9:30, 8:30 again for metta. I'm curious. Who is he recording for? It's not important. I didn't say anything bad about anybody.